happy to welcome you on Yes I Do podcast.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome and thank you for accepting my invitation.
Always.
So today we will speak about your romance bookstore, about romance, books and everything. So
I love it.
Yeah. So to start the podcast, can you just introduce you for the listeners, please?
Of course. My name is Scarlett Hopper. I own Romancing the Novel in Paddington. It's an all-romance bookstore here in Sydney. I've been a romance novelist for 8 years and I'm obsessed with all things romance.
I love that. And I think your place was the first place I found when I arrived 4 months ago in Sydney. So I was like, oh my God, it's amazing.
Thank you.
The best place. It's lovely. I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I love other people love it as much as I do.
Yeah, so I have a lot of questions about that. But
I'm ready.
To begin the podcast, I always ask this question.
Okay.
So let's go back to your childhood when you were a little girl.
Yep.
What was your vision of love when you were a child?
What was my vision of love when I was a child? Honestly, I think that my idea and visions of love came from my parents, because that was the number one example of what I thought love should be, and I still do. They've been together nearly 50 years and they're still super in love, and I'm the youngest. They have 4 daughters, 4 of us. And I just looked at them and that was what I thought love was. People who respected each other, treated each other with kindness, cared for each other, supported one another. And I still view it that way. It's only evolved as I've gotten older, but it's those core values of what I thought love was, I still believe in.
I love it, and what example you had, so nice.
I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
So lucky.
Yeah, and your vision of love evolved during the teenage part of your life or the student life, you know. Sometimes you meet people and your vision changed or not at all.
Yeah, no, completely. I think that any point in your life, your ideas of love and what that means and what you want from it changes. When you're a kid, I don't know how deep you go. It's kind of when I was a little girl, I think it was a wedding. My idea of love was a wedding, marrying someone.
Yeah.
And then when you're a teenager, I feel well, for me anyway, it wasn't very realistic. My ideas of love were probably what I was seeing on TV and people in magazines.
In Disney movie.
Oh, exactly. I was obsessed with Disney TV shows, and I think I was in Hannah Montana. I wanted her to be with Jake Ryan, and I was that's love. And in my head I was that is it. That's the pinnacle of love. And then I still think about those things, but you get older and it evolves of what you think love is and what you want. I'm 28, I'm nearly 29, and I feel every year it changes, but for the better. As a woman, I think that I've realized I can do so much by myself. And I'm thinking of romantic love. There's many different types of love. I feel I'm absolutely filled to the brim on platonic love. I have so much love for my friends that I couldn't ask for anything more. It's so phenomenal. And so now, as an adult, in romantic love, I would only want someone who's adding to my life. Not adding burdens, but adding positive things and maybe making the weight of other things that are a bit too heavy, they can take that. So I'm not really fussed about taking on anyone who's not going to contribute positive stuff. I'm really happy with who I am. I love myself. I love those around me. So now I think more than ever, I'm at that point where unless you're bringing great things, go away.
I totally agree with you. And I think self-love is so important.
It is. So important. I think that's how can you love others if you don't love yourself,
Yeah.
And I feel you're the most important person in your life, because if you're not nurturing yourself, water and feeding yourself, how can you do that for others? And my love language is looking after others and gift giving and caring. But if I'm not taking care of me, how can I do that for everyone else? And how can I expect someone to love me or to give love to them if I can't give it to myself? which that can go a bit deeper, but I mean, on the surface, I gotta love me, and then I can let other love in.
Yeah, I think we saw that a lot. Like today, you're the main character of your life.
Exactly.
And you have to take care of you and of your mental and things like that, and not after that, but if you can love you, or you can love another person.
So to put you first, which a lot of people don't do because they're like empty from giving it to everyone else. I'm like, you got to remember you because you matter. And I feel like a lot of people, especially women, they give to everyone around them. I'm like, care for you as well.
Totally agree. And thank you for sharing your vision.
Of course.
And I think your message is really, really important. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to share it.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to hear that, even the young women.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you can see things on the social networks of the movie, like when we were a child, and you have a vision that is not the reality of the life.
Exactly. And you can get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And think maybe that's what I deserve or I don't deserve. But, I think comparison is the thief of joy. And sometimes, if you're comparing yourself to others or if you're watching situations that aren't necessarily realistic, it can be hard.
Yeah.
You got to start with you.
Yeah. But you learn with, when you live some hard things or it's lessons. So
exactly. Lessons. That's life. You know? You've got to go through all this. You're not born and being like, I'm going to love me.
No.
It takes a long time. I'm 29 and I'm still learning.
Yeah, me too.
We're young.
I am 29 too. So.
I love it. We're super young.
So now we will talk about your romance bookstore.
Yes.
And my first question is aligned with your vision of love. Is your vision of love influence the fact that you decide to open your bookstore?
Yeah, I think it did. I started writing romance in my late teens, and then I didn't really tell anyone I was a romance author because I didn't feel like, obviously people who knew me knew. And I'd post about it on my social media and stuff, but that was quite small. But I wouldn't tell people on the street, or if you meet someone new, they're like, what do you do? And I'd just say it's like, oh, I'm a nanny, because I was a nanny as well, but I just didn't feel confident. And now I feel like as I got older, I was more confident in myself, and I guess you could say I loved myself more and believed in myself. And so I really, the last couple of years when I wanted to open a romance bookstore, because I had that self-belief and that trust in myself and trusting my gut and the confidence, listen, it's not saying that's every day, but overall, I had gotten to that point. I felt secure enough to take that leap. A lot of people roll their eyes. They think it's a bit of a joke. Well, they did. Now I'm
really?
I'm fight me. I don't say that, but they were a romance bookstore. Usually old men.
Yeah.
And I'm just get away from me.
Yeah.
They'll be that's, you could kind of just see they were thinking that's never going to work. But joke's on them, because we're having the time of our lives here at Romancing the Novel.
Yeah, I love that. And I saw the same story in France with romance bookstore.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's sexist, honestly.
Yeah, clearly it's sexist.
Gosh, it used to make me really angry, and now I kind of just laugh.
So what's the story behind Romancing the Novel?
Ooh, so I have always dreamed of having a bookstore. I feel like a lot of little girls always wanted, I see it on social media a lot now, it's my dream of having a bookstore, bakery and flower shop. And I'm yes, because I dream of that. Everyone always was oh, books are a dying breed, bookstores. I didn't believe them, but I was oh, maybe, whatever. And then I was actually going to open a bakery. And the last 15 years, that was my goal, because I really just didn't think opening a bookstore was a possibility. I don't know why, but it felt such a far-fetched dream. Felt way too complicated for me to even understand. With that being said, it was hard, but it's not that complicated. It's just researching, it's just learning, but that's any skill, right? And then about 2 or 3 years ago, I was sitting down working on my business plan for my bakery. I just had this weird feeling and I was like, I don't want to do this.
Okay.
And I love to bake, but the more I thought about waking up at 4 a.m. and like losing my social life, losing seeing my friends, my family, and I'm very close to my family, you know, and then I started worrying, like, will I lose my love of baking? Because it just didn't seem like a lot of fun. And I had this weird feeling. I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and I just remember being like, I'm going to open a romance bookstore. Like, I'm not going to open a bakery. And I'm very big on trusting my gut. Like, my gut has never led me astray. I feel like I have good intuition, and I'm also quite impulsive. So like once I make a choice, like I'm doing it. 100 people can be like, do not do this. But if I've decided, I've decided.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's good and bad.
What's your astrology sign?
I'm a Cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I follow all the Cancer traits. Like I'm not very sensitive, but I'm sensitive for others.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you can't really hurt my feelings too much, but if you hurt the feelings of those around me, I'll get you.
I think with family, it's like this sensitive thing.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I had woken up and I was like, I'm opening a romance bookstore, and I just remember telling my family. They didn't say it, but I knew in their head, they're like, what the hell? Like you talked about opening a bakery, like you were making your business plan, researching like places to go like study. Like I was gonna at one point go to Le Cordon Bleu in Paris. Like I was really committed to that. And then I woke up, I told my family, and I could tell they didn't necessarily think I would do it, you know, because I had a history of times saying I would do something and then not doing it. But I just knew. I was like, I'm going to do this no matter what it takes. Like, if I don't do this right now, like, I will regret this for the rest of my life. It was one of those things. It just felt like such a pivotal moment that morning I woke up. I remember it was December. It was after Christmas. I think it might have been the night before New Year's Eve. And my cousin was with me, and I just remember opening up a Pinterest page, and I started pinning all my favorite, like, romantic scenes in books and movies. And I was like, this is it. I'm doing this. And then I really did buckle down and I did my business plan. Like I did all the boring behind the scenes things, but I actually found them to be so much fun. I was so passionate. Like it was the first time in years I felt like this is right. Like I had been really unsure for like my whole 20s of what I wanted to do. Like I knew I was a romance writer, but I'd had a lot of writer's block, and I just felt like there was something missing. And this was just that first time that I was like, oh my goodness, you figured it out. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but like...
And you knew that you were on the right way.
Exactly. Like I just it felt so right. Nothing in my life had ever felt more right.
That's amazing.
And I think I had been searching for that feeling for years, because I just was like, what's my sense of direction? What's my purpose? And like, you don't necessarily need a purpose, but I just felt like I needed that. Yeah. And I was really unsure. And I think once I committed to myself, and I started really like, you know, doing what I say, like the boring stuff, but it actually was not boring. It was really fun doing the business plans and all that stuff. Yeah, the rest is history. Sorry, that's such a long answer. I'm a bit of a yapper. I can blah, blah, blah.
But you can give us more details if you want. Like, okay, so after that, you find this place, you choose the books, and
oh my gosh. Yeah, so what happened was it moved a lot faster than I thought it would. At the time, I was living down the road from where the store is here in Paddington, and I would go to this bar. It was called Tequila Mockingbird. It's now changed. I would go there for happy hour with my sisters because, as I said, I've got 3 older sisters, and we all live within 5 minutes of each other. Like big family, super close. So nice. So lucky. And my parents too. But I was meeting 2 of my sisters for happy hour, and I walked by the store and it was vacant, and it had a fleurissent sign, and I just said to myself, like, what a dream. Like that would be the best bookstore. But I was like, absolutely not. Like I can't afford it. You know, it just felt like it's never going to happen. And I just kept walking by it. Like weeks would pass. And then I think about after a month, and my sisters had sent it to me as well separately walking by. And I was like, God, I can't stop thinking about it. And I was like, I'm just going to view it. I'm just going to have a look. As soon as I stepped foot in, I was like, if this doesn't become romancing the novel, like nothing will. Like I had to. I was like a dog with a bone. I had to have it. I harassed that real estate agent for 2 months because he didn't want to give it to me at first, and then I got it. Really? Yeah, I wanted it to be a Botox shop, and I'm like, we've got enough of those. I can name a few down the road that are good. We don't need another. And so I eventually got the keys in June last year.
Wow.
And then I just went to town with pink paint, like so much pink paint. And I wanted to do it by myself. You know, it was all about like measuring and this and that and lots of new skills I had never like had, but I learned along the way. And many trips to Officeworks and Mitre 10 to get paint and printing supplies. And then with books, I don't even remember how I picked what books to get. I think a lot of like research on TikTok. Like obviously I was lucky because I'm a romance author. I had a good idea of what indie novels to get because I'm an indie author. So I felt like I had a good, like, I zoned in on that. And then I was like, traditionally published books, like what do I need? And I got recommendations from my sales reps from like the publishing houses. And then I just went on TikTok and socials, like, you know, top 100 best-selling romance novels, like, and then, you know, what's up and coming. And I just bought books. You know, I made some errors at the time. I definitely ordered too many of some, not enough of others, but the first few months were just such a learning lesson. It is kind of like you throw yourself in the deep end, but like it's sink or swim. So like you just swim. And I'm still swimming and I'm still above water for now.
Yeah, but that's the journey of you know, entrepreneurship and things like that too.
Yeah.
So that's so amazing, inspiring. So
Thank you.
Great. You create an amazing space.
Thank you so much. I love it, and I'm so glad other people love it. That was my biggest fear. I was like, what if people don't like it?
No, but it's impossible.
Oh, thank you. The reception's been amazing. There's nothing like a romance reader. They're the best people in the world. Like just, I love every time someone comes in and we just like talk, and it feels, just feels right.
I think people who love can just be nice.
It is. It's something happy. Like I think with the world, there's so much going on, and it can feel so dark at times. And sad and heavy, that I wanted to create a space you walk in and it's like, this is a safe space, no judgment, no hate, just love and positivity. And, you know, it's a sense of community. Whether you want to come upstairs and read your book by yourself, you want to have a chat with me downstairs, you want to browse, like I wanted to have the option of kind of every aspect available to the romance reader, or maybe a new reader in general.
That's amazing. And what advice would you give to someone dreaming of opening his own bookstore?
I would say research. Just do so much research. I think with that being said, people are going to be like, what kind of research? I'm trying to think what I did. I first decided, okay, is it going to be a physical bookstore or is it an online bookstore? I wanted physical. Okay, what location do I want? Start looking at like the areas. Look up how much is the rent, what you'll have to then make on the books to just pay your rent. And those are obviously, that's the boring side. That's not the fun bit. No one wants to do that, but it's practical. That's what so this is advice my dad gave me, because you know, I was living in fairyland and I was like, I'm opening a bookstore and life's going to be amazing. He goes, that's great, but you know, you need to be practical. He was like, how much money do you have to earn a day? Such a dad thing, right? And I was like, you're being so annoying. I'm trying to live my dream. And he's like, that's great. Let's talk money. And I was like, but like, honestly, thank God for my parents for being like, Scarlett, like you need to, like, it's good to like be a bit in space, but come back to earth. So like, that's the boring practical side. Like figure out how many books you need to sell a day to like pay your rent, eventually pay yourself a salary. Live. That's the boring aspect of it. The fun advice I would say is make sure you're so passionate about it. If you're passionate about what you're doing, it really will fuel you. If you want it to be a specialized bookstore, look around the area. Are there any? If there aren't, you could be like tapping a market that hasn't been hit yet, which I think is phenomenal. Reach out to other people. You know, it's not as easy as like reaching out to all the booksellers and being like, I'm opening a store, give me advice, because and you know, I get those DMs all the time. I know other booksellers do, and I want to respond and tell them everything I've done, but like that would take me forever. That would take days. Like it's just not realistic. And it's not like people are hiding secrets. Like it's literally just hard work, research.
Yeah, it's always hard work. Like.
Exactly. I think a lot of people forget that.
Learn by yourself too, I think.
Yeah, and I think that helps. Part of the journey is kind of discovering it. When I was opening Romancing the Novel, I had a call with a bookseller in the Yarra Valley who is friends with a family member of mine, and she just gave me like great advice, like don't expect to earn a salary the first year. So she gave me like advice on like what software to use, like things like that maybe I couldn't have easily found online. And they were like harder truths. But I do think if you want to like open a business, you have to be ready for those. You have to know like, okay, but you need to earn X amount of dollars if you want to keep your doors open. Because it's all well and good, like, you know, being like, oh, it's going to be great, it's going to work. But like, no, how is it going to work?
Yeah.
And I would say my best advice would be really nail a business plan. Have like a profit and loss statement. All those things that like up until a year ago, I did not know what any of that meant. And like my dad was like, how's your P&L? And I'm like, what does that mean? Oh God, look up online like a free like course. YouTube would have like how to make a business plan. There's free templates. Honestly, like that is my number one piece of advice. It's not exciting. It's not pretty, but it's practical.
Yeah.
And it will make such a difference. Like having my business plan, like I feel like I personally like got to the point I was really happy with it. It took a long time to get there, but it really, I referenced it so often. Like I kept going back to it. And it also, I added like a vision board in there, like what I want the rooms to look like. So it makes it fun.
Yeah.
But my best piece of advice for, I guess it's for any business, but like if you want a brick and mortar bookstore is make a really good business plan.
Yeah. That's really important.
It is, yeah. Like it's not fun,
if
it's
you
not
want
exciting.
A sustainable
Exactly.
Project.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are looking for like, they're probably like, oh, that's not the advice I want. But I'm like, that's what I'm going to give you because it's what I was given. And holy cow, it made such a difference. Like, I don't know. I think I would have made some really big errors if I didn't. Just because if there's nothing to follow, you can just kind of like free fall and you don't know where you're going to land.
So, anniversary of Romancing in the Novel, it's in
September.
September?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
so excited. We're going to do something big.
And what's the date?
It's going to be, it's the 7th. 7's my lucky number. So 1 year in September. Crazy.
So what's the best moment for now of this year?
Oh my gosh, my best moment.
Like the free?
Oh my God, what's the best moment? Honestly, like meeting everyone. The people I've met. I can't pinpoint like an exact, day or moment, but I have met the best people I've ever met in my entire life in the span of like 8 months. And like I've been on the earth nearly 30 years and in 8 months I've met, oh my gosh, just incredible people, incredible women, just that have changed my life. Like some of my closest friends now, the people I've met through Romancing the Novel. And just working with all these creatives, all the like swag we have downstairs, like the candles, the tote bags, everything, all small businesses, women own and run. I love that. It just makes me happy.
Nice.
It is. Something about it just I find really joyful.
And you have men?
Yeah, we do have some men. We do have the occasional man. There's a man downstairs. But he's my friend from America, so he's just like stuck with me. But yeah, we do get some men in, and I love that too. It's a space for everyone. I do use the word women a lot just because that's the demographic I see. And, I wanted it to be a safe space primarily for women because the world is built for men. So I do say women a lot, but, everyone is welcome. Everyone.
Yeah, obvious.
Yeah.
And men, if you want to gift a book for your
yes,
girlfriend.
honestly, come on by. People, I love it when men come in and they're like, my girlfriend needs this. And I'm like, I will help you.
I love that. So thank you for all this story about your bookstore. And I have a lot of questions about that, but now I propose you to speak about romance.
Yes, let's do it.
So, which book made you fall in love with the romance genre?
If I Stay, I think it's Gail Forman. I read it in 2013. I was on vacation with my family and they had all gone out and I downloaded it. It's a young adult novel. It's a romance. It's also a movie with Chloe Moretz. Movie's pretty good. But that was really what that's just a pivotal moment for me because I just remember reading it and it was young adult. So it's not like it was like really sexy or anything, but I just like felt it. I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, like these people need to be together. Like this matters. This is important. That or what a lot of it was a lot of young adult. I still to this day, I adore young adult. I think it's super underrated. Sarah Dessen, a lot of her novels, I think especially Just Listen, they're young adult, but they deal with a bit of heavier topics and they are romance. And I just felt like when I read them as a teenager, I was like, oh God, this even though the topics in the book weren't necessarily relatable to my life, just reading about these teenagers, I was like, God, this feels real. Like, I get it. So those, I was a big fan of the Mortal Instruments series, the fantasy series, Shadowhunters. Those, again, young adult. Those were really what pulled me into romance and, like, kickstarted my reading journey, because I wasn't a reader before then.
Oh, really?
I hate to say this, I hated to read. It was terrible. Like, it's so bad.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know. It wasn't until I was about 14.
Oh, nice.
Before then, I was like, get away from me, books. And now I would be like, I'm like, never, I love them. But yeah, so like young adult.
I age to begin and to start to read.
Right? Yeah. I feel like that's a pivotal moment. Makes or breaks you. Yeah, it was around that age, and I haven't stopped since.
I love it. And if you could, I think this question is hard.
Tell me.
If you could recommend only 5 romance,
okay,
which ones would they be?
Okay, I can do this. 5 romances. On Dublin Street by Samantha Young. It's a series. It's set in Scotland, in Edinburgh. I am obsessed with it. It's one of my favorites. Throne of Glass. That, I think about that every day. It's like my Roman Empire. Fantasy, best fantasy I've ever read. Nothing will ever compare. I'm going to forget so many now. I'm going to like think back and be like, Scarlett, why'd you miss these? Just Listen by Sarah Dessen. It's a young adult novel. I read it as a young adult. It just changed my brain chemistry. One I just reread is The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It's another young adult, but oh my gosh, it's so phenomenal. I think about it all the time. I just finished rereading it yesterday. I reread it once a year. And then my last one would be, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting everyone. Anything by Penelope Douglas, which is, I know some people are like, oh, like Penelope Douglas is like, takes it too far. I love Penelope Douglas. I love Credence. I love Birthday Girl. I love Punk 57. Anything they've written, I'm a diehard fan. So those are my 5. If you ask me in another hour, I would think of a different 5.
But so now...
Yeah. That's my current... Well, 4 plus an author. I love them.
Okay, so nice. I will put the name of the books in the description of the podcast. Thank you.
Of course.
So, I love this question, and I saw on the wall some things about that. Ooh. So, what's your favorite romance trope?
Ooh.
Oh, the 2.
My favorite, and now I've got to look on the wall for some inspiration. Oh my gosh, my favorite romance trope. I love enemies to lovers. It's like one of my favorites. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And friends to lovers. Those are my 2 favorite. Same but different, you know?
Yeah.
I love reading like a really good book where they're like best friends who fall in love, or they're 2 people who hate each other and fall in love. Like I just, oh my gosh, I eat it up. Yeah. I love all the tropes. Yeah. I know some people have tropes they don't love. I love them all. I love every trope. I love brother's best friend. I love second chance romance. Oh my gosh, I could go on for days.
Yeah. And Miss Reverse, I love it. I can relate a lot. And me, I like the Grumpy Sunshine.
Oh, me too. So freaking good. I love a grumpy man and like a happy gal.
I love it.
So good. That's always a good one.
Yeah. So nice. But enemy to lovers, friends to lovers, that's really nice. So maybe this one is hard if you haven't thought about it, but is there a quote from a book that really touched your heart and stayed with you?
Okay, can I pull up my Goodreads?
Yeah,
because I save quotes on my Goodreads because sometimes I just want to read them and cry. I've got a couple. My first one is, have you read Throne of Glass?
No, but
I want you to read it. It's my favorite. So my first one is from Throne of Glass, and there's this scene, and the main character's like really like it's life or death, and she's like thinking about what her mum said to her, and it's "you do not yield," and just I even when I listen to like the audio, I like guarantee cry. So I like actually can't even play it for you because I don't want to cry. I think about that like daily, and then how the heck do you find quotes on Goodreads? Goodreads is really confusing to me. I think it's from On Dublin Street, and it's something about like change and like you don't know a change has happened to you until like it's already happened and then you're just a new person or something. It's just a really, really beautiful quote. I just always think about it.
I love quotes. Like
I do too.
When you read and we're like, oh, Oh my God.
It just sticks with you, right? I love like poems. I have a poem tattooed on me that my sister and I got together. And I just love stuff like that. I love poetry. I love poems. I love depressing poems. I can't find this quote. But just, I guess I love it all. I love all types of quotes.
And sometimes just few words and can change your mind or change things, your way of see things.
It's so true. Like, it just, like that Throne of Glass quote, like it changed my brain chemistry. Like I think about it and I'm like, oh God, like I love it, but it's just like, it means so much. And I don't think I realized, well, I always obviously knew the power of words, but until you like really read something that resonates with you, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like,
I had this feeling like 1 month ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I take photos of pictures.
Oh my gosh, what was it?
It was in Bridgerton.
I love Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Oh, Bridgerton's so freaking good.
I don't remember. It was like they just fell in love, but they haven't the right to do. Yeah, it's a Francesca story, and she said like, if I don't kiss you, it's like I'm going to the hell or I feel like that. I don't remember the quote, but
it's just so good,
amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God,
I love that. It's the best feeling.
Yeah,
reading something and you're like, oh my gosh, how did someone think this up?
And I always think about this quote, like,
I love that.
Yeah, it stayed with me. Like I was like, oh my God, I love passion in the romance, like
me too.
And in the life too.
Yeah, amen.
Do you think romance books can help heal from heartbreak?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because I think in romance novels, we're writing the men or women we want to see in real life. You know, it's how we want to be treated. Doesn't necessarily, you know, obviously not all romance novels like a shiny happy bow, but I think that we're reading these men that like, we're like, God, I wish they were real. Book boyfriends. And so I think, you know, if you're suffering from heartbreak or something horrible's happened, you can take comfort in reading these books because, you know, either maybe you can relate to a character. A lot of people tell me like, you know, dark romance and stuff, they love to read that because they can relate to maybe some trauma these characters have been through. And they feel better when they get to the other side. Because, you know, with a romance novel, you have to have a happy ending. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, everyone's in love and life's great. But, like, the characters have to end up together.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You won't have ending.
But, yeah, exactly. But, like, I think that people take comfort in that. And I like that. I love it. That's why I love reading romance. Because I know it's going to end well. Maybe, like, you know, not everything's wrapped up perfectly. But I know they're not going to frickin' die. Well, some books they do, but those aren't classified romance. Might be a love story. So yeah, love it.
Yeah, and you have example of people who came in your bookstore and told you a heart story, and thanks to romance they heal.
100%. I get that every day.
Yeah.
You know, I have so many readers come in, and they'll be like, you know, I went through this in life, and this book. And I can't think of a specific book right now, but they'll be like, this book reminded me so much of my own situation. And for some people that might be too close to home, but for others they're like, it was so close to home that it actually helped heal. Whereas I have other readers who are like, you know, I've got a really horrible situation right now, or I'm feeling really upset, I'm going to read a fantasy novel where like it is completely so far from what I'm going through that again that also comforts you. So I think we can find comfort in anything.
Yeah, I'm totally agree. That's why I love reading.
Right? It really depends like where you're at. Sometimes I want to feel like relatable and like I want the characters to absolutely like eviscerate my heart. And other times I'm like, I want to be so like detached from this situation. Like give me dragons and magic and like vampires. Because I'm like, that's not real and I love that.
Yeah. And sometimes you just want to be in a cozy mood, just a little small town romance.
Oh, I love a small town romance. Those are some of my favorites.
Yeah,
they're so good.
And if you could have tea with any book character, maybe a book boyfriend, who would it be?
If I could have tea, that's a great question. If I could have tea with anyone, I think I would want to have tea with the main character from Throne of Glass. I'm not going to say their name because it is a spoiler. I just can't say anymore. The people who are listening to this and have read it will know exactly what I'm saying. If you haven't read it, just disregard. So yeah, I think the main character from Throne of Glass, or oh my gosh, I just remember me going back in time. When you asked my 5 favorite books, can I add one? Because this is one of the characters I'd love to have tea with. The Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. Phenomenal. She's a serial killer who kills bad men. She falls in love with the FBI agent hunting her. One of my favorite book series of all time. The main character, I'd love to have lunch with her, have tea with her. So add that to my 6th book on the list. Just like, I want a badass woman. Yeah.
You can. Thank you for all your answers. And now, can we talk a bit about you?
Of course.
And the future and things like that.
Yeah, why not?
So, you told us that you're a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So, you wrote 7 novels. I
did.
saw it on the internet. So, can you tell us a bit about the journey and the story about to be a writer and write romance and maybe give some advice to the people who dream to write a book one day?
Yeah, I mean, I always dreamed of being a writer, but I feel like I've said that for so many things. Like, I've dreamed of owning a bookstore, being a writer, but it's all interconnected.
Everything is aligned.
It is, yeah. When I was a little girl, because my older sister, we used to read poetry in bed at night. We got the matching poem tattooed on us, and I was always thinking, gosh, I'd love to write like that. And then probably from 10 to 17, I forgot about that life. I was like, yeah, I'm just living, you're growing up. And then I was reading so many romance novels from 15 to 18. God, it was I just couldn't put them down. And I kept guessing how they would end. And when they didn't end the way I wanted, they'd end up great, but I'd be like, God, I should write a book with the endings I want. And so I started writing my first book in high school in my science class. And I just kept writing. And I grew up in America. And so when I moved, I'm Australian though, but so when I moved back to Sydney when I was 19, I just kept writing the books. I didn't do anything with them. So I wrote 3 in a series. And then when I was in my 20s, I was like, you know what, I'm going to self-publish. I wanted to do something with them. They're there. I love them. And I just kind of kept doing that. My best advice is I still haven't figured it out. I've got writer's block right now, but just do it. Just word vomit. That's what I tell anyone. Sit down and just stream of consciousness on the page. Don't try and make it pretty, adorable. Just make it what you're thinking, how you're feeling. I never start a book from page 1. I always start it from a scene in my head, and it could be the last page, or it could be the absolute climax of the scene where the characters are going through hell. But just start writing what you see and what you're feeling. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason with writing. It's such a personal thing. And so I would say just word vomit. I think we all have the ability to write. So many people now are coming into the store being like, oh, I read so many romances, I've got an idea for a book. And I say, well, write it. So many people, big authors, that was their journey as well. They were like, I never wanted to be a writer. And then I just started and I couldn't stop. And that's kind of what happened to me. I just started writing this book and then, I never stopped.
That's so nice.
It's a good feeling. It's... I've got some writer's block right now in a few years, but I'm still writing. I'm just not publishing.
Yeah, you're still writing and maybe you plan to...
Yeah, I've got something in the works. I'm nearly done and I'm really excited about it, but I just need to get it finished and then I can be excited publicly because I feel otherwise I'm going to jinx it. I'm a bit superstitious.
Yeah, I can relate. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's been good.
Thank you. My dream is to write a romance.
I feel like you could do it.
Yeah.
You're very romantic. You should do it.
Yeah, it's on my plan.
We can put it in the store. You can come sign copies.
Yeah, but in French.
I love that. That's even better. Someone asked me recently if we had any
really?
French romance novels.
Oh.
It's the language of love. City of Love, Paris.
Yeah, that's true.
I love it.
Would you be open to sharing a little bit about your own love story?
Oh my gosh, I don't even think I've got a decent love story. I'm a perpetually single woman, but I kind of love that. Do you know what I think my love stories are? I think my love stories are with my friends. And I know that sounds so weird, but like that's always been my number one priority. Like I'm just in love with like having people surround me who are phenomenal people. Like how lucky am I that I have that? And so I do think like, and with my sisters, I know people when they ask about like love and love stories, they're like looking for a romantic answer. But like I still don't think I found that. And I don't know if I'm necessarily looking right now because I'm having the best time. Like life for me right now is so fun. I'm surrounded by such fun people. Like the people downstairs that you met when you came in.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'd had time for love, but I wouldn't say no to it.
Yeah.
Like if I find it, when I find it, I would like to find it. But I just haven't really been fussed with it. I've been too busy with my fictional love books. So it's not a very exciting answer, unfortunately, but...
No, it's not.
It's my platonic love that just, like, you know, my platonic soulmates. Meeting them is what's really been phenomenal so far. And then one day I will meet my romantic one. Just haven't found them yet.
And you know, as you said at the beginning of the podcast, I think your best love story is with you.
Yes, I love that.
With the bookstore too, and with your friend, and you have love. And
oh yes,
I think maybe it's important to say that. And,
yeah.
And I think the message is important. It's to say that you can be happy without a boyfriend now.
Oh yeah.
And
it's like the last thing I need is a boyfriend. I feel like that would stress me out. I'm like, the greatest love story is with me. I love that. It's true. Like,
yeah.
My cup is so full. I've never been happier. I've never felt more loved by others. So it's just like not even on my radar. It will be. I do want that eventually. But like, yeah, you don't need.
You'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. My first love is my store right now.
Do you believe in like destiny or something like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm big on like destiny, soulmates. Like I love all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, I think because I believe in that, I'm so content with it'll happen when it happens. Whereas I know I've loved people around me who are like, oh God, like I haven't met anyone. I'm panicking. And I'm like, I don't feel that panic because what will happen will happen. And like, I've already gotten to this place in life. So something's happening the right way. So, que sera, sera. Is that what it is? What will be.
Yeah, I believe a lot in destiny. And I think if things need to arrive, need to happen, they happen.
Exactly, so right?
Don't wait a lot of things because sometimes it doesn't happen.
Exactly.
And if you just live your life and be happy with what you had now.
Exactly.
If someone else has to come in your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say okay.
So, hey, book boyfriend.
Yeah, please, honestly.
And about the future, what's your dream for the future of romancing the novel?
Ooh, my dream is to continue to always love it, always feel joy from it, and keep giving to the community what they give to me, which is love, respect, success with each other. I would love to open another store, maybe down the line. It's in the works, but very early stages, like not this year. Honestly, just to keep selling romance novels and for people to continue to be excited about them. I don't need 100 stores across the world. Like, if at the end of the day, it's me in Paddington, happy as a clam. Like, life is good. It can only get better.
Paddington, it's an amazing place.
It is. So, it's so good.
Yeah, you know, it's like, I have the French name of the movie, but in Notting Hill with Julia Roberts and...
oh my gosh, that's my favourite movie.
Hugh Grant, yeah.
Do you find that this is like...
Yeah.
That's why I've picked this place. So Notting Hill's my favourite area. 3 of my books are set in Notting Hill.
Yeah.
And that's my favourite movie.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my gosh, so good.
I love it.
Like... I think about it all the time. And when I saw this location, it reminded me so much of Notting Hill.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that you said that.
It's the exact place. But in Sydney, like, you've been in Notting Hill in London. Yeah.
I stay there when I go. My cousin lives, how cool is this? you know, like the bookstore?
Yeah.
Well, in Notting Hill, there's like the gift shop there. My cousin lives above it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had a mental breakdown when she told me because I'm like a super fan. It's so cool. I love all that kind of stuff.
I love it.
So good.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie because it's the favorite movie of my mom. So
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
I watched it many times.
Oh, he's so handsome in that movie.
Yeah.
I love it. So freaking good. One of my favorites. I love that you love it.
Me too. So we're gonna conclude the podcast. So I always ask this question during my interview.
Yeah.
You know, it's Yes I Do is a podcast about love story, not just love story, couples, things like that, but love story about self-love.
I love that.
Yeah. So my question is, if you met someone who's lost faith in love because of past heartbreak, what would you say to them?
Ooh. Tell me one more time so I can really marinate.
If you met someone who have lost faith in love,
what would I tell them?
Yeah, they don't believe anymore.
Yeah, I would probably say it's common. It's a common thing that happens to people, especially women. It's such a corny thing, but I'd be like, you just can't give up. Like, you have to just... I'd give them a great romance novel. I'd be like, read this book and, like, this is who you should look for. Don't lose faith because, gosh, it's so easy to, because people let you down all the time. But, you know, it's a love is a numbers game. Like, that's such a boring way to put it, but it is. Like, you kind of have to just keep searching and searching. Some people find it quick. Some people it takes them forever. But I would say, make sure you love yourself first. Heal. Don't rush into anything. Give it time. And then I feel like people come around. It's hard, though. I don't know if there's, like, a right answer for it. Because with heartbreak, you know, it feels like it's a forever feeling. When you're going through it, it feels like this will last forever. But it won't. You just time and time equals healing. And then maybe they're not ready for a romance novel as soon as their heart's been broken. Maybe they need like a stabby like thriller. But just say give it some time, you know. Time heals all wounds, as corny as it is. But it does. And then come see me and I'll give you some good books.
I love it.
It's probably a terrible answer, but that's the best I can give.
I love it. There's no good or bad answer.
That's true. That's true.
So thank you so much. And to finish the podcast,
thank you.
What's the message you'd love to leave to the listeners of Yes I Do?
Ooh, I would say the message I would want to leave is trust yourself and love yourself. You know, I think the most important thing in life is loving who you are, and with that comes trusting who you are as well. Trust your gut. It's easy said than done, but you know, you're number one. The greatest love of your life should be you. So I'd leave it with that.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
I've had the best time.
Yeah, me too. It was so lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Messi. That's my shitty French.
I love it.
Oh,
Perfect.